Hey everybody, before we get into today's video, I just wanted to remind you that I am doing demo reviews. Click the join button on my channel page or message me on Discord, Twitter, whatever, Steam, I don't care if you have any questions regarding that. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So I had made a video on this probably about 4 years ago. Hi everybody, welcome back to my 20th attempt at making this video, and I feel like I've gotten a little bit more knowledgeable in the last 4 years. Maybe not. We'll see. But today I'm going to be talking about 1v1 situations, how to win them from both the T and CT side, and different things that you can do to up your percentage. So I'm going to be using Vertigo as the example for today's video, just because I feel like Vertigo is a pretty fun map to be in a clutch situation, just because of how small and condensed the map is. You can really rotate quickly and throw fakes and do whatever. So when we're talking about 1v1 situations, there's a couple different types of 1v1 situations. The first one is where it's a very fast-paced situation where, you guys are taking a site, right? We'll do this from T perspective. You guys are taking a site and you have bomb down, maybe the CTs are retaking it, whatever, but it's not really a guessing game on where they are, right? Because let's say it's a 2v2 and like the CT, your teammate kills one of the CTs, the CT kills your teammate. Now it's a 1 versus 1, but it was like that, right? And you know that he's like right there and you're hiding right here, right? So that's a very simple 1 versus 1. You're very close quarters. There's not a lot of flexibility in that kind of 1v1. The next type of 1v1 is where, let's say you're lurking, you're doing something, your teammate is trying to get some space towards mid, or you're going to meet him at B, he's going through mid, you're going through B, and your teammate dies because the last CT is sitting here, right? And he kills him when he walks out mid. Okay, now you know where the guy is, right? And you're spaced out, medium space, where you can still go B. I mean, maybe the guy thinks it's A, right? Who knows, because your teammate was mid, but it can be either, right? And you can either go B, you can go A, but you have a pretty good idea of where he is, okay? The next type of 1v1 is your teammate dies, right? Let's say it's a 2 versus 2. Your teammate dies, you trade out that death, right? You kill the guy. Now it's a 1 versus 1, but you have no information on where the other guy is. And like you can start to, maybe take some guesses depending on what the positioning was and all that. Maybe you were at B site, so the other guy's probably at A site kind of thing. So those are the 3 types of 1v1s. So let's go ahead and break down how you would win from both T and CT perspectives for all 3. So your first one, right? The first one where you're quickly just trading things out and you're on the T side. With bomb down, I mean, it's just that's just the waiting game. You know that the CT isn't, like, 90% of the time will not just go for the plain stick. So you just need to hide, sit back, wait for the CT to try to push you, because he's going to be looking for the kill. So you can even really hide. You just need to make sure that you're in a spot where if they do start to stick, you can get to the bomb fairly quickly. Because after a while, the CT, isn't going to just hunt forever, right? He knows that he has to defuse the bomb if he wants to win the round, okay? If bomb is not down, then it becomes a little bit more tricky. You have to consult how much time you have left in the round. Do you have enough time to maybe fake a rotate over to A? Do you have enough time to, or do you not have enough time and you have to stay A? That fake the rotate to B, right? Because we're on A right now, so you would fake to... So you get my point. Do you have enough time to go to the other site, potentially, and make them think that, or do you not have enough time and you have to stay at the site? If you have to stay at the site, I mean, then it comes down to, do you have utility? Can you drop a smoke? Can you do... So that's a little bit more difficult. You kind of just have to take the aim duel at that point. There's no cheat way, no easy way, no pro tip in that situation. Now, CT side, again, if bomb is down, right? If bomb's planted, and it's a 1 versus 1, okay? How much time's left on the bomb? Is it smart enough that you know that this guy's going to be hiding? So maybe you smoke, maybe you molly, all depends on the utility you have. Maybe you tap the bomb and then hold for them to push, but then you have to do the 50-50 guess of which way they're going to come. You maybe have a good idea of where they're going to come, but, the worst is when you tap the bomb and then you wait and like 5 seconds pass and you're like, damn, I I really could have stuck that. But that's basically your only option as the CT, unless you want to go try to hunt for the kill. You have to walk, right? You can't make the steps. They're just going to run further away. But that's a little bit more risky, right? Because you have to gamble on them hiding like over here if you're checking over here. Because if they're hiding back hall, like, you just wasted so much time checking one position, right? If bomb is not planted, then you know that the pressure isn't on you in that situation. The pressure is on the T to get bomb down before the time is up. And same thing. Do they have enough time to rotate over? Now you can just bank on, okay, maybe they'll fake the rotate. I'm just going to sit right here, maybe get into a better spot, more into the site, and just 50-50 game of if they come A, I'm definitely going to catch them off guard. If they go B, I'm going to have to retake the site, but it was worth it in case they win A. Or you maybe pick more of a central location. So no matter which site they go to, you can be pretty quick on that rotate and maybe catch some footsteps as you're rotating over, hear them, maybe guess where they are, right? So that's how you're going to play that kind of situation. Now, the second type of situation is where as a T, you know where the CT is. Your teammate just died to him, all right? But now it's a 1 versus 1 instead of a 2 versus 1. You know where the CT is, okay? And if the CT is in, like, middle, right, then that becomes a little bit more difficult of a game to play. Because if the CT's at A, you just run B. If the CT's at B, you just run A. And on Vertigo, it's a little bit more difficult because the map's smaller. They can get some quicker rotates, but they shouldn't immediately be rotating over, especially after killing one person of the 2 people left alive at that site, right? You would assume that the other person would be coming to that site. So that's simple when they're on either side of the map. But when they're in middle, then it's like, okay, you can't just run out, knife out, trying to get to the spot quickly. You do have to be careful that they can have weaseled their way in to any site. But from there, and then it's just your basic post plant of, if you want more information about that, I guess you could watch the video that I made on post plants. But in a nutshell, as a T, you probably want to hide and make the CT come find you. You don't want to give them the opening pick. And as a CT, you have to take as much ground quickly as possible and then try to clear out things and tap the bomb, try to force the T's out, that kind of stuff. So from a CT perspective, let's say, you're on A, you kill one of the 2 players left alive on A, you would assume that the other guy is going to be nearby, right? So you're going to chill A for a little bit. You don't hear anything after about 10 seconds, then you want to rotate over, right? Because then it's assumed that it's a fake. If they double fake you, so be it. It happens sometimes. You're not always going to play the situation perfectly. Same thing for if you're at B, right? You have to wait 10 seconds, see what happens. Now, if you're in mid, then you have a couple options, right? You can either just sit here, wait, and do the whole, centralized location where you can quickly rotate to either site, maybe catch some footsteps. But on a map like Inferno, right, where you can't just sit top mid because B is so far away, you just have to dedicate yourself to a site. So you can either, whichever site is closer is probably your best bet because you can weasel in and get to an angle that they wouldn't expect you in. Like if you can get to A and like hide here or even, something like this, right, where you're constantly checking the angles, but a place where the T will really not expect you in a 1 versus 1, it's going to give you so much more advantage. And again, if they go B, you're going to have to retake the site anyway, so you just have a little bit longer of a rotate. Now, for the third situation, as a T, you no longer know where this last guy is. Now, you can make some guesses, you can infer, you can do, that kind of stuff of just given the situation, but that's a lot of variables, and I can't really go over each and every one of them right now. So in that situation, you just have to play it, this is where you're fully concentrated. You don't have any information to work off of, so you have to be clearing out every single angle, right? Now, the only thing that comes into play with that is how much time is left on the clock, right? Do you have enough time to clear out every single angle? Some things that people will do in these kind of situations, so let's say that they're coming up A, right? So they get up to A, they're clearing angles, they don't really see anybody, they're chilling, okay? So normally, you can plant here, right? So you can go for the plant, but in this situation, sometimes players will go just a little bit further, right? In case the CT is waiting to hear that plant noise and just clearing out every single angle, and then they go for the plant. That's usually in a 1 versus 2 situation where it's assumed that there's a player on each site, right? The CTs are going to be split up 1-1. So if you don't see anybody when you're coming up, you're like, okay, well, there is definitely a guy here. I just have to find him. So sometimes you'll walk past the plant and then go back to the plant after you get bombed down. Now, from a CT perspective, you know that you have all the power because the T has no idea where you are because you didn't get that last kill to even it out. The T did, right? So now you can again weasel your way into something, or you can go for like a huge big brain play of, since the T has no idea where you are, right? You can push through mid here. You can, walk down the ladder, come up to a spot where they definitely will not be expecting you because they're so worried about where you could be. They're not thinking about all the options, right? They can only worry about so much at a time. Like if I'm coming up A here as a T, I'm like, okay, he's either side hall, maybe he's back here hiding, maybe he's behind sandbag. There's so many options. I'm not worried about, okay, maybe he's coming from behind me. You just don't have the time or the manpower to worry about such a flank, right? So that's definitely a play in those 1 versus 1s. Again, the biggest thing for CT, and you've heard me say this about 12 times now, is that the closer you can get, the more unexpected of a position you can play, the easier a round you're going to have. Now, yes, you do have to gamble that it's going to be on the site where you're taking that unexpected position, but 1v1s are all about gambles. Now, when you're actually into the gunfight portion of a 1 versus 1, this will be my last point, right? When you're in the gunfight portion, you don't want to just play it like a normal gunfight, right? You don't want to just, let's say that you smoked this off, the smoke is fading, right? You smoked it off, you stick bomb, the smoke's starting to fade, right? And then you're just going to peek out like this, right? Now, that's very expected. As the CT, that's where you're looking for the guy, right? That's pretty expected. The CT won't have time to react to weird angles. So, what would a weird angle example be, right? Getting up onto here, my mouse wheel. I didn't fuck it up. My mouse wheel decided to jump before I wanted to jump. All right, I didn't mess that up. Trust me. But no, playing an angle like that, you know the guy's back Jenny, right? And you throw a flash, right, just to catch him off guard. You know he can't peek. You get up here, and when this guy comes around, right, if he's peeking, he's looking here. Right, he's maybe looking there for a quick little headshot angle, and he's not looking up top here. Same thing goes for here. There's such a big box to worry about here that he's not worried about right there, especially if he's already spotted you, right? That's the biggest thing. Let's see if there's an example at A here, right? Again, you get bombed down, right? The guy's heaven, right? Lower heaven. You get bombed down, you get up, he's right there, you guys shoot at each other for a second. All right, what's something that you can do that's going to catch him off guard? Maybe you peek from this side just to make him look over here. Maybe you drop a smoke right here. Again, comes down to what utility you have. But you drop a smoke right there, he's going to think you're going to cross, right? And then bam, you jump up, you try to catch him off guard. Same thing can happen as a CT, right? Bombs planted, right here. Let's say you tap it, and then you immediately get up here without making noise, all right? The T is going to come around and instinctively be looking at where bomb is because that's where you tap. That was the sound cue, right? They're not going to be worried about an angle that they're going to be exposed to before seeing bomb, right? So that's, another thing would be, you're shooting at somebody over here. It's expected that you're going to get up on the headshot and look again, right? But it's not really expected that you're going to push all the way up, especially if the T's hiding. So just playing more abstractly, right? Little abnormal play style angles, coming around and, peeking an angle like this rather than just on the ground, right? Being a little bit more creative with how you're playing is going to win you more 1v1. So I hope this has helped in some sort of way. I hope I did a better job than I did 4 years ago. So I'll see you all next time. Have a good day. I said that in the wrong order. And have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. No. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time.